Hi Taurus, welcome to your weekly scopes. Please keep in mind this is only a general reading. Take what it feels right and with what resonates with your own life experiences at the moment. So Taurus, very emotional oriented week. It's a week where the theme about you being too overly defensive or too trapped inside of yourself and the fears that you still hold on emotionally wise. Um, about opening up to someone else or something else will probably come to the surface, so you have an opportunity to deal with them in a much more conscious and open way, where you try to understand things in a much more higher sense than you have until this moment, about your emotions, about the way you feel, about the way you feel towards others, the way you relate with others, the way you let love be experienced in your life. So, the main opportunity for you this week is understanding. So, the main opportunity for you is to understand that you probably have been trapped inside of your own self, inside of your own emotional body, where some situations from the past kept you in this sense of your inability to let love in or let negative experiences flow out. So there's a need for you to understand your emotions in a complete new way, where you acknowledge much more your own responsibility in the way you feel, in the way your relationships work, and especially in understanding that even the bad relationships or the bad emotional experiences you had contain in them so much opportunity for growth and for understanding your own emotional self, because it's about also you seeing or starting to realize that many of the relationships you had until this moment were a reflection of yourself, were a reflection of your own issues to deal with. So you start to understand, you start to see, you start to have this urge to be much more free from conditionings of the past. You start to understand the beautiful offers that lay outside in the freedom of your own emotions running free, without containment, without fear, without feeling um, without fearing losing that control you may have been working on, you may have been taming on your own emotions. So there could be a situation where someone offers you something, emotionally speaking, um, where that offer will make you, or if you want to, because this is always about our own acknowledgement, our own consciousness about the matters. If you want to, there's an opportunity for you to see that offer in a completely different light that you have been seeing until this moment. There's an opportunity for you to blossom creatively. Maybe you have been having some kind of blockage in your creative self, in the way you express your talents, your resources, and of course that has consequences in the way you deal with your emotions. So either way, the main opportunity for you, as you can see, is to start seeing your own entrapments, the own traps you have inside of yourself that keep you from flying higher, that keep you from being much more lighter, much more okay with yourself and the way you feel. There's an opportunity for you to be uh, with in touch with your emotions in a very honest way, in a very even a sweet, tender, forgiving way. So don't waste this opportunity. It's a beautiful way to heal many things that keep you from, for example, having that beautiful relationship you want to have, from having that creative project manifested the way your dream, your vision tell you to. Because there's a need for you to clear the blockages so you can understand every single thing that happens outside as a mirror of inside of internal experiences reflect itself in the exterior, so you can be aware of them. And I think this week you have an opportunity to really be aware of them. The main challenge, it's another water card, so another emotional card in the challenge, which makes sense, and it's going with the flow. So you may be, again, even though you may start to understand some things, you may still be really resistant to either accept them or to go in the rhythm of them. There's a lot of a flourishing, a new cycle on your emotions. There's a prosperity wanting to be renewed in your emotional life, in your relationships, in your spirituality, in every single thing you put your heart on, but in a much more truthful way, in a much more connected way. It's about you connecting with your heart again, without fears, without traumas, without wounds. And the challenge is for you to let it happen. The challenge is for you to get out of that cage and start running, letting those emotions loose, letting it purge. You need to go through that purge, emotional purging, which can be really uncomfortable. But that's the first step. And then when you clean that out, and you just start to feel much more relaxed, much more calm, because you know you're flowing, you're trusting your own intuition, you're trusting your own inner guidance that it's telling you, let yourself float in the currents, because you will get to the destination that you're exactly meant to. Your resistance, the challenge is you being resistant to the idea of not having control, or of letting go of control, of letting go of having to know, or having to expose what you perceive as weaknesses, what you perceive as your so intimate self, that you keep anybody, even yourself, from entering that space that it's asking you for openness, for receptivity. So the challenge is for you to let this new beginning, this new cycle in your emotional, in your spiritual self happen, where you'll feel love and you'll be love in a much more truthful and abundant way, like you do. Taurus always likes abundance. So it's not only about the practical abundance, the material abundance, it's about also the emotional abundance, letting love shine bright inside out. But in order for that to happen, you have to be really honest with yourself and with the things you're still needing to work on. And it's not only about you acknowledging that. That's the first step, yes. But then you have to consciously start taking steps to let that consciousness be manifested in real aspects of your life, where you take responsibility for what you feel and from what is happening in your own emotional self. The advice card is the outsider. Isn't it interesting how your opportunity card and your advice, they both have this sense of trap, of being a prisoner of something, of being, both are looking to the beautiful skies, both are looking to the beautiful prospects that lay outside in the unknown, but both are fearful, both are not sure, are afraid to go outside. This one is much more willingly able to do so because the energy starts to understand the beauty in a much more higher way. So it's really interesting. The outsider talks about you feeling, again, trapped inside of your own insecurities, your own fears, of not knowing how to relate with others in a much more intimate and equal way, because you may feel some sense of being an outcast in the relationships you're having, in any sense. It doesn't have to be just a love relationship. In all your relationships, you may feel this sense of being an outcast, of not being able to completely be yourself where you are involved with, and this brings you this sense of aloneness, of entrapment, because either you are not being completely truthful with others because you're keeping those parts, those intimate parts of yourself, or either you are excluding yourself from others, being alone, in even deepening that sense of being an outsider. So the advice is to acknowledge your own traps, your own prisons, to open this cage. Start understanding, like your opportunity was for this week. Start understanding the power that's inside of you, inside of your emotions, listening to your intuition. Slowly, because of course this is a slow process, with a lot of patience, with a lot of self-love, slowly starting to really trust the beauty of the unknown, the beauty of freedom, the beauty of being yourself and being connected with yourself in a whole new way. But first you need to recognize your insecurities. This is a very insecurity oriented card. Your deep insecurities. Acknowledge them, work through them, put some love into them. Let the challenge be an opportunity, which is beautiful. Go with the flow. Let it flow in you. Whatever it is, whatever you perceive as positive or negative, let it flow towards you and let it guide you into the direction you're supposed to go in your emotional life. Because everything is connected and you feel much more connected to yourself. Every single aspect of your life will be a reflection of that. So Taurus, there's a really beauty in this week for you to heal deeply rooted aspects of yourself. And there's some situation that may happen that can confront you with the situation, or hopefully you'll start to realize that by yourself. You'll start to listen to your own unconscious voice and be much more aware of maybe the resistant places that still keep you from seeing your emotions and the love you have inside of you in a different way, in a different perspective. So I wish you a great week. Thank you for listening, liking, and subscribing, and hopefully we'll see each other next week.